Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that's personal, powerful, and honestly a little painful, but kind of necessary. It's about valuing yourself, especially when others don't. And this is one of those topics that can apply to anyone listening today. Maybe you've been overlooked or ignored, dismissed, censored, criticized, minimized, or flat out rejected. Maybe you've given your very best and somehow it still wasn't enough for someone. If you've been there, you're not alone, okay? I've been there too. And I want to talk about how to keep your self-worth intact, even when others don't see it, which is ignorance, or if others don't want to see it, which is arrogance. And if you're new here today, welcome. My name is Anne-Marie. I'm a holistic life coach, a hypnotherapist, and spiritual guide. I help people, in particular women, to reclaim their power from toxic or narcissistic relationships. So let's start with the basics. Let's start with self-worth. What is self-worth? It's not ego. The ego is the mask. It's not arrogance, because that belongs to the mask. It's not pretending to be better than anyone else, because that belongs to the mask. Self-worth is simply standing quietly in your power, knowing who you are as a spiritual being and knowing what you're worth on that spiritual level, and that you matter, that your existence has value, just like the next person, without needing someone else to validate you. Because when we let others validate, when we look to others for validation, they will always dictate the terms. Okay, be really mindful of that. They will always dictate the terms and they will keep shifting the goalposts. The truth is, your value doesn't decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. I'm going to say that again. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. Okay? We live in a world where people love labels. You're only valuable if you look a certain way, if you achieve a certain success, or if you fit into a specific box. But the reality is, most of the time, people's judgments of you are their own projections. It says more about them than it does about you. So let's be honest, it really hurts when people don't value us, right? It hurts when friends leave you out or forget about you. It hurts when your boss overlooks your work or your integrity. It hurts when your family doesn't seem to understand you and minimizes your life. Or when someone you love treats you like an option, not a priority. When they treat people they don't even know better than they treat you. Again, all that says more about them than about you. Still, we buy into it, don't we? We buy into those lies. We take the bait. So stop taking the bait, for one. So here's what I've learned over my many years of working on myself. You can't control how others see you. You can't control how others think, what they believe, how they behave, whether they want to change or not. But you can control those things about yourself. You can control how you see yourself with practice. Because if we've been gaslit most of our life, we tend to gaslight ourselves. So we need to undo that practice. That's another video, okay? But know that you have the ability to control how you see yourself. You have control how you behave, how you respond, as opposed to react. So stop reacting, because that's what they want. They want you to take the bait. Okay? Learn to take a breath. Let their breath be your first word. Give that pause before you speak, so that in time you can control how you see yourself. If you rely on external validation, you'll always be chasing approval, and you'll never be happy, because someone else will always, as I said earlier, dictate the terms by constantly keeping you guessing and keeping you on the hop. You'll shapeshift, people please, and lose bits of yourself just to feel accepted. And you end up behaving like them, because all they do is shapeshift and people please. They don't please you, they please those that they don't know. Okay, because they have this need to impress. So valuing yourself, you don't need to impress. Okay, you got nothing to prove. What you see is what you get. And so learning to, when you shapeshift, when you people please, when you lose bits of yourself, that's not love. That's not self-value. That's not living. That's not even surviving. And, sometimes people don't value you because they can't. They don't see your journey. They don't know your struggles, or they don't want to know. That's even more painful. And that, again, is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their insecurity, their self-absorption, and therefore their limitation. So make no mistake, those gaslighting and manipulating you chase that approval even more than you do. But they would rather control and hurt you than to be vulnerable and honest. You know the old saying, get them before they get me? That's kind of how they live. Pushing away the very people who tried to love them unconditionally. That must be a terribly, terribly sad way to live. Thank God I'm now away from that toxicity. But it's taken a lot of inner reflection, a lot of inner healing, a lot of inner hard work, okay, to get where I am today. So please don't compare yourself if you're not there. Just use this video as a way to give you a bit of support and give you a couple of little tools to help you start healing. So how do you reclaim your worth? How do you reclaim your power? I'm going to share just 3 things that help me. There's many more, but the 3 things that are really important. They're all important, but 3 things I've chosen today, okay? Number 1, talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. If your best friend is struggling, would you criticize them or would you comfort them? Start doing that for yourself. The way you speak to yourself matters. Kindness builds value. Criticism breaks it down. Okay, it destroys it. Number 2, don't wait for permission to believe in yourself. You don't need someone to co-sign your value. Start writing that book, start that project, leave that toxic relationship, go jump out of an aeroplane. You don't need someone else's green light to move forward. Okay? And number 3, know what you bring to the table and stop apologizing for it. Are you kind? Are you loyal? Are you creative? Do you show up for people? Are you honest and willing to be open and vulnerable? Are you growing, even if it's slowly? That matters. Those things are rare. So celebrate them, even if no one else is clapping. Okay? Others can't stand watching you move forward, so that's why they have to keep pulling you back. It's called leveling up, right? Either they're bigger than you, they think they're and pushing you down, right? Or they're thinking, oh no, they're growing too fast, and then they're going to come from down there and shoot you down. Either way, they're going to level it up. Not because they're stepping up to grow. No, they're bringing you down. Okay? Recognize it and celebrate your own wins. So here's some real talk. Some people will never ever see your value. Not because you're not valuable, but because they're too busy protecting their fragile ego by focusing on your flaws. Some people are uncomfortable with your growth, as I said earlier, with your strength. They may be attracted to it at the start, but then they'll spend the rest of your relationship tearing it down. Some people only valued you when you shrunk yourself to fit into their box, when you stayed quiet and were easy to control. And of course, that's not value, right? That's coercion. And guess what? That's okay. Let them do that. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to shrink yourself to be accepted. What you do need is to stay true to yourself. And that's the hardest thing when you're dealing with someone especially in a narcissistic relationship. Because they're never going to want you to be yourself. Right? They want you to keep second guessing yourself. So do what you need to stay true to yourself, to walk away when you're not respected, to hold your head high, even if it's lonely for a while. That's where silence, that powerful silence comes in. I don't need to impress anyone. I don't need to get anyone's approval. I can just be me. Because the moment you start honoring your own value, the right people, those who truly see you, who truly see your light, they will be drawn to you. They will be drawn to your light. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with you. Always with ourselves. Okay? So if you're watching this today and you're struggling, feeling unseen, unheard, unappreciated, maybe even unloved, this is your reminder. Your reminder. You matter. You are valuable. Even when they don't see it, even when they forget, even when they turn their backs on you. Your worth isn't up for debate. It isn't negotiable. And it's definitely not determined by people who couldn't recognize a diamond if it was right in front of them. So start showing up for yourself. Start speaking to yourself with love. And start walking like someone who knows they deserve better. Because you do. So thank you once again for spending this time with me today. And as usual, if this message resonated with you, remember to subscribe, drop a comment. Love to hear from you. Or share it with someone who needs it. And remember, you are a beautiful soul. You are a bright, bright star. And it is time to shine. So until next time, take care of yourself. And as always, lots and lots and lots and lots of love. Bye for now.